I'm about to take you to one of the most isolated hotels in the entire world, located on its own private island that can only be reached by a boat journey in dangerous waters, where I'll be living completely alone for the next 24 hours with no neighbours, no immediate way to call for help, and no easy way off the island. But how do you even get to a hotel like this? Will living in complete isolation play tricks on my mind? And what happens if the boat breaks down trying to leave the island? To find out, I've made my way to Heathrow Airport at 4 AM. I'm at an airport. That can only mean one thing. We're going on a serious adventure today. I wish this was as simple as walking off a plane and getting into a hotel, but unfortunately not. We've got a long day ahead of ourselves, so I'm going to let future James explain the route using one of those fancy animations he does. Getting to this hotel involves a 12-hour journey using 4 different modes of transport. I started my journey by taking a 3-hour train ride down to Heathrow Airport, where I'll then be catching my first flight to Frankfurt, Germany at 6 AM. I won't be in Germany for long though, because I'll then need to take a 2-hour flight to Bergen, a city in Norway that most of you probably haven't even heard of. From there I'll need to hop in an Uber and head 40 miles north to a tiny boat dock next to the North Sea, before taking a 10-minute boat ride in some of the world's most unpredictable weather conditions to my own private island for the night. Sounds simple, right? But I'll tell you right now, everything that could have gone wrong on this trip went wrong on this trip. Right, now you know where we're going. Let's go find the most isolated hotel in the world. Before I even got on my first flight, I received the worst news possible. My flight home had been cancelled, which means I'm heading to potentially the most remote hotel in the world with no idea how I'll even get home. But it's too late to turn around. I'm determined to find that hotel. I'm on my first of 2 flights, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit nervous. I messaged the hotel to get some details on where to find the boat when I arrive, and they just didn't reply. So I don't even know if I'll be able to actually get to the hotel when I arrive in Norway. Flight 1 of 2 done. Fun fact, this is the 3rd time I've been to Germany in my life, and I've never been outside. I've been here twice and not left the airport, and the 3rd time was to go on a sleeper train, and I never got off the train. I've got an hour to waste in this airport before I go to my next flight, and I'm a little worried that this hotel's not going to have much food. So the mission in this airport is to find some German snacks to take with me. I didn't know it at the time, but this was a massive mistake. I was just minding my own business, taking my time, but I still had another security check to go through before my next flight, and I only found this out 10 minutes before the gate closed, where I was greeted by a massive queue of people. I sprinted for my flight and made it with 30 seconds to spare. I don't even know if I'll be able to get to this place, because I didn't pre-book a taxi and I assumed I'd be able to get an Uber, but it's in the middle of nowhere. It's 40 miles from the airport, and even if I can get an Uber there, I don't know if I'll be able to get an Uber back. This is our second to last flight before we hopefully get an Uber, and then hopefully get a boat. And after 9 hours, I made it to the Norwegian city of Bergen. Or at least, I think I did. The sign has a question mark on it. Am I actually in Bergen? Because now I'm just confused. I feel like this is a new low for me. I've just arrived in a new country, and instead of going to try their unique local cuisine, I've just booked an Uber to go to the nearest McDonald's immediately. So the hotel I'm staying at tonight actually has 4 rooms that you can book, but when I booked online, I was the only person to have booked a room, so I don't know if I'm turning up to an island today to stay completely on my own or with a group of strangers. And to be honest, I don't know which one's worse. Which brings me to why I'm doing this in the first place. I actually came here to give myself some time to think. I'm trying to hit 100,000 subscribers by my birthday on May 18th. It's been my dream for nearly 15 years, and you can subscribe right now to give me the greatest birthday present of all time. But I don't feel like I've shown enough appreciation to you watching at home helping me get there. So at the end of this video, I'll be sending a very special subscriber a postcard from Bergen with a handwritten message on it. And spending some time alone at this private island hotel will give me a chance to figure out exactly what I want to say. Hello. Nothing about this Uber ride was out of the ordinary until we started getting closer to the island and the houses turned into nothing but wilderness. Eventually my driver dropped me off in the middle of nowhere. I've just got out my Uber and I'm completely in the middle of nowhere. I've got no idea where I'm going. I'm just on a road in the middle of Norway. Completely lost. And that's when I ran into a man named Magnus. Magnus looks after the island, and he's the only other human being I'll be interacting with in the next 24 hours. I'd show you some of those interactions, but this is the audio. Let's just say it was a little windy on the island. This was a terrible idea. He gave me a life jacket and I jumped into a boat, not knowing that this same boat would break down tomorrow morning, leaving us stranded in the middle of the ocean. When we arrived, Magnus gave me a rundown of the history of this island. It turns out this house was originally built in 1906, and during World War II the family living there allowed escaped Russian prisoners to hide on the island, and the island next to it has a secret system of underground tunnels that were used to hide weapons during the Second World War. Thankfully, the island I'm sleeping on tonight doesn't have any secret tunnels, although it does have plenty of slightly creepy Victorian family photos. I have officially arrived at one of the world's loneliest hotels, but before I give you a tour, I need to address one of my main concerns coming here in the first place. Before I came to this hotel, I was genuinely worried I wouldn't have internet connection to be able to book a taxi home, but thanks to today's sponsor Airalo, that won't be a problem. I've done plenty of travelling for this channel in the past, and it's cost a fortune in roaming charges, but buying an eSIM on the Airalo app means that here in Norway, that's not a problem. Airalo covers over 200 destinations, so wherever you're going, you can connect to the internet without those crazy roaming fees the minute you land. I'm in the middle of nowhere on my own private island, and thanks to Airalo, I've got unlimited data for just £3 a day. That means I can use Google Translate to communicate with people worry-free. There aren't any people, but if there were, I could do that. All you have to do is download the Airalo app, buy an eSIM for your location, install it and activate it in just a few clicks, and now you can travel around stress-free. Download Airalo right now and use code JPainter to get money off your first eSIM. Right, in the words of the great Sabrina Carpenter, do you want the house tour? For context, I was planning to use Sabrina Carpenter's song here, but then I realised I can't afford the licence fee, so this will have to do. Living room, the kitchen, the library, with a therapy couch the size of an NBA player. Bedroom 1, bedroom 2, bedroom 3, a dining room for me and all of my friends, and some fancy bathrooms. Well, I guess that concludes the house tour. What do I do now? I tried reading some books. They're all in German. I don't even speak German. I tried just existing. I got bored pretty quickly. I went outside to take a photo for Instagram and try and fly the drone. Safe to say I was confused. How do I even take off? For the last 30 minutes I've sat on my phone in complete silence, and something about the stillness and the quietness of this place that's supposed to be relaxing makes me feel really uneasy. It's strange because I'm usually somebody who likes to be alone, but part of me thinks the reason why I work so much and I constantly find ways to keep myself busy is because I'm scared of this very scenario. Out here on this island, it's just me and my thoughts and the silence. So what exactly is there to actually do at this hotel? Well, there are some sunbeds. I don't think I'll be needing those. It has its own sauna, which I probably won't be using because you'll never catch me walking around this island alone in the dark. And the island even has its own shop, which I'll be raiding later for some authentic Norwegian snacks. I've been chilling out in the living room for the last hour because if I'm being completely honest, my room is in the attic and I'm a little bit sketched out about going up there on my own and leaving the entire house empty. I just heard a noise that sounded like a person, like a really loud, like it sounded like a door open. That is sketchy. It's not even dark yet. I took a walk to the island shop and got myself some Norwegian snacks. I thought these were chocolate. They're definitely not chocolate. They're good though, clearly. And then went up to the attic. I made it to the attic. The entire house is shaking with the wind. If it wasn't for the wind, I think this would be like a nice little cozy room. But because of the wind, I feel like I'm going to sleep on high alert. If you've watched any of my videos before, you know I'm a terrible sleeper. My sleep score the last few days has been awful. If I can't sleep in a place this private, I don't think I'm ever going to get a good night's sleep. I've been awake for 17 hours. I think it's probably time for bed. Good night. Good morning. I actually didn't sleep too bad. That's the best night's sleep I've had pretty much all week. But I did fall asleep listening to a podcast, so I didn't feel like I was alone. Listen, the wind's scary, okay? It might be the morning, but our adventure isn't over yet, because apparently Magnus is on the way with some breakfast. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. I thought this was the end of the adventure, and I still didn't know what I was going to write on the postcard, but this journey had one more surprise waiting for me on the way home. To begin with, as we left the island, everything was going to plan, but all of a sudden the boat engine cut out completely. For the next 50 minutes, we floated around aimlessly, drifting further and further from the island as the waves got heavier and heavier, until eventually a rescue boat arrived. Magnus was incredibly apologetic even though it wasn't his fault, and he asked me not to include the footage of the boat breaking down, and that is when it hit me. In that moment, I realised exactly what I wanted to write on the postcard.